Can it stop me? Absolutely not.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm so grateful for today. My only regret is we're not doing it in person, but when you're listening to it, it's going to feel like we're in person. I have just a great man to spend some time with you all today as well. It's the second time he's been on the show. The first time he was on the show, I think we broke the internet. And to this day, many years later, people still share clips from that episode because he's just such a phenomenal being. And so my guest today is Eric Thomas. You guys know him as E.T., the hip hop preacher.
From the time I was born, I didn't use the gift. So homelessness put me in a situation where it's like, yo, bro, you're gonna have to figure it out. And I'll never forget, they let me speak at church and I spoke and it felt magical. I never felt like, it must be how LeBron felt when he first got a basketball in his hand. Must be how Steph Curry feel when he come out on the court in the light. It must be how Jalen Ramsey feel when, when the night lights in LA and he checking somebody one-on-one. This is how Tom Brady must feel this way. I felt the same way at 16 and I told myself, E.T., whatever you do, don't stop doing that. You find every opportunity to speak. You find every opportunity to talk to people. You find every opportunity to smile. You find every opportunity to be electric because something happens. People treat you different when you speak. People treat you different when you smile. Like, when you come in the room with that energy, boy, people respond to you different. So whatever you do, make sure you don't ever stop doing that. And whatever you do, don't stop growing it. You keep getting better and better. And I'm telling y'all, I spoke for Florida Gators Napier just recently, and the greatest thing happened. I spoke to the Gators. I've been there before. This is the first time he's been there. I walked out of the room. He pulled me to the side. He said,
let's go, let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Another blessed and grateful day. Yo, today they didn't want me to get on and give this message. YouTube literally kept lagging out, and it's funny too. The last videos that I posted on the way back from AZ, YouTube actually took down that video, so we're definitely being watched. They don't want this content, but that was another confirmation that we are speaking the right information. We're on the right path. So let's go ahead and dive into today. Jojo, I see you working, and my boss is in a meeting, so I can be blue to watch. Let's go. I love it. So what is everybody grateful for today? I've got a phenomenal topic diving into Friday, TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. The growth includes Friday. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to take massive action today. And I've got 25 checks for you to go ahead and really analyze yourself to see where you are at. So gratitude, right? What is everybody grateful for? Grateful for God, grateful for life, grateful for the mind, grateful for the body and the spirit. Yasilia is grateful. She's still here. I love it. Grateful for all of the lessons. Grateful for AZ, all of the value that was able to be taken in. So now we can go ahead and pour it back out to each of you. Grateful for the position that we're in right now and grateful for the dream team. So let's go ahead and get into today. All right, here we go. I've got 25 different checks for you, right? To go ahead and really ask yourself and put these on paper so you can really figure out where you are as far as taking yourself, your business, your brand, your trading very seriously. All right, so here we go. 25. Let's go ahead and get into it. First thing, right? First bullet point before we go ahead and get into this 25, I want you to think about this, right? Who gets served, right? This is called a QLQ. For those of you that don't know what a quantum linguistic question is, these are the type of questions that's going to allow you to really think, right? If there's one thing I've noticed in the past 5 years, most individuals, they don't see the success that they're looking for because they're playing at a surface level, right? We talked about it yesterday. We can write the affirmations, we can write down the goals, but if the feeling isn't there, if we're not asking certain questions, we're not getting down to the root. So my question to start off today is this. Who gets served by you being at your best? Who gets served by us performing at our best? Okay? How do you have a conversation with individuals when you not become fearless, but when you start to fear less? How do you show up? What type of actions do you take? Right? Couple questions to think about before we get into today. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the 25 checks. Y'all ready? Draw some 2-5s. You guys are ready for the 25 checks for your success. Here we go. Let's get into it. All right. Number one, feeding your mind, right? Are you taking the time to feed your mind on a daily basis? This could be all different ways. You know, we're talking about the morning routine. We're talking about going to the gym. We're talking about your night routine, right? Are you listening to audios before you go to sleep? Maybe a meditation. This is so important when it comes down to really diving deep in these next 90 days, because we've got enough time for a 90-day run left to really go ahead and run this play. So what day actually are you guys on your consistency? Let me know. Drop it down below. What day is everybody on as far as your consistency? I am coming up on we're almost at day 60. I'm at day 56. So by now, you guys have started to see the power of what happens when you feed your mind. You're around the information for, look at this, Yasilia, day 60. Horizon J, killing it. I know you're a couple of days ahead of me. You're probably right about at 62. Let's go. Day 60, 6 days left to go ahead and hit the next check mark. So you guys have started to see the vibration, the feeling of staying consistent when you're feeding your mind on a daily basis for 2 months straight. Give yourself a pat on the back. That's amazing. All right, day 66 is coming next. So first thing, feed your mind. Number 2, don't be afraid to give 100% and still not be successful right away. Okay? Number 2, don't be afraid to give your 100% and not be successful right away. This is one of the biggest reasons why, even for a lot of us, we stop going, because we forget that the day that we plant the seed is never going to be the day that we actually eat the fruit. So understand that success takes time, right? Especially inside of this business, I want you to start thinking about it a little bit different, right? Nikki was talking about lagging. Well, let me go ahead and give you a little jet lag effect. Jet lag effect is going to be this. I don't know if you guys have ever been on a plane, if you've ever been on some crazy hours, but you have what's called a jet lag, where things take a little bit longer. It takes a little bit longer for time to actually catch up and so you can actually be cognitive. Well, here's what happens with money inside of this industry, with growth inside of this industry. It takes 90 days for the work that we're doing today for it to truly catch up, for you to start to see it physically, right? If you want me to give you a better example, where we're sitting right here, right now, is not from the work that we did yesterday. It's not from the work that we did last week, believe it or not. It's from the work that's been compounded over the past 90 days, over the past 3 months. So if you don't like how you're feeling right now, this comes down to how we've been thinking the past 90 days. If you're feeling on the other side, if you're feeling abundant, if you're waking up excited, if you're waking up full of energy, this is because that morning routine has started to develop and rewire your thinking to where now our balls of energy, before, the negative ball used to be bigger than the positive ball of energy. But now with this morning routine, now with being intentional with our thoughts, with our thinking, with our habits, the positive side started to grow and the negative started to shrink. And this is where the magic really happens. So I love it. So be willing to take the actions with success. Be willing to learn the skill sets. Be willing to do the daily disciplines and stop looking up at the scoreboard so fast, right? I stopped worrying about my back office. I stopped worrying about the money. I started focusing on the percentages that I was catching in the markets. I started focusing on the skill sets that I was learning. I started focusing on the responsibilities of my daily rituals. And watch what happens. You're going to look back up at the scoreboard and it's just going to be flying, because you put your head down and you started to actually do the work. How many of you guys, and you can actually try this out, the next time that you go running, right? If you go running and you just look at one step in front of the other, versus if you were just running a straight 2-mile run that's straight and you're looking straight the whole way, it seems like it's a long way to go. But if you could just take that step by step and you look up, you'll see how fast the mile actually goes by. The same thing goes with this business. Okay, number 3. 3 is going to be this. Play with the kid's enthusiasm, but have the focus and discipline of an adult, right? Dream big. Wake up excited every morning. Realize that every day we have 2 options. We can either choose joy or we can choose misery. We have the opportunity to literally double, triple, quadruple our income in a matter of 90 days to 6 months. Drop some 2s down below if you truly believe that. If you truly believe that you can double, triple, quadruple your income in the next 90 days to 6 months, let me check where your belief is at. Because let me tell you, at the lock-in, I saw people double their income in a matter of 3 days. They went from platinum 150 to platinum 600 in a matter of 3 days. P6 to P1000 in a matter of 5 days. Literally almost doubled their income in 1 week. So imagine what we can do in a matter of 90 days, in a matter of 6 months. This is the power of these skill sets. This is the power of quantum leaps. Everything we're studying, You think we're just taking notes to take notes? You think we're just putting in overtime, 56 days straight just to do it just because? No. This is to create quantum leaps. This is to create all of these uncashed checks and receipts because we know where it is that we are going. Okay? So this is big. All right, next one. The next check when it comes to success, number 4, right here. Mindset allows the possibility to win, right? Our mindset allows the possibility to win. I don't care what part that we're focused on, whether we're looking at trading, whether we're looking at building an e-commerce Shopify business, whether we're looking at going and impacting lives, we will only get as far as our mindset is actually open, right? Some people talk about, well, I got to push the envelope. Well, here's the truth. There is no envelope. There's no containment inside of entrepreneurship. The limit is whatever we create it. The frame, the box is whatever we make it. So if you limit yourself at $1,000 a month, at $2,000 a month, at saying you're not going to be able to travel, you're not going to be able to get on stage in front of thousands of people, well, guess what? You have literally created that thought, that image, and that is going to become your reality. Because whatever we think about, we bring about. Whatever we think about, we also bring about. So you've got to really be intentional with the limits that you're thinking right now, right? Even for the month of September, how many days do we have left? We have 3 days. We have a week left of September. What is your goal for the rest of September? Believe it or not, you can get a lot done in a week. You can literally pop your next rank in a week. You can literally go ahead and hop on these next sessions for the next 5 days. Once we come back for the next week, and you can go ahead and get a withdrawal. So what are your goals? What rank do you see yourself hitting in the next 7 days? What rank do you see maybe somebody in your organization hitting the next 7 days? What withdrawal do you see somebody else hitting inside of your organization in the next 7 days? So believe it or not, start to really be intentional with how you guys are seeing every aspect of your business, because whatever box you put on it, that is the limits that we're going to have for ourselves. Okay. So next, number 5. Okay. Here we go. We're going to be talking about hoping and ignoring. Believe it or not, many of us, we can take the time to do the affirmations. We can take the time to pray. But here's what I want you to think about, right? The second that we go ahead and say the prayer, and then we go right back into fear, we go right back into lack, you're wasting time, right? And I've been the person to do this, but I started to realize the whole point of saying a prayer, the whole point of actually taking time for yourself is to actually have faith. You see, a lot of us, we don't take the calls, we don't show up because we're afraid to take a loss. We're afraid to hear no. We're afraid to go ahead and have somebody give us rejection. I've been there for a long time until I started to see life the opposite way. What happens when I get in the market and I win this trade? What happens when I make that call and I actually impact their life? What happens when I put out this video and somebody reaches out to me saying, yo, I was waiting for that message, right? The law of assumption. However you assume whatever's going to happen before it happens, a lot of the time, that's how it actually ends up. So I started to look at every part of my business as winning, right? I am attracting leaders. I am on top of my morning routine. I am developing myself on a daily basis. I started to look at the law of assumption in a completely different lens, okay? Next, this is going to be right here. The 5 wants, okay? The 5 wants, the 5 desires for your day. This is big. What do I need to watch/read? What do I need to watch/read? You see, for this next 90 days, a lot of us, we've put down the personal development books, right? And we've started to really grab the leadership books, because this is the season of leadership. This is the season to really be intentional with who you are becoming. Because here's what I know. Everything that we've learned in the past, look at that, in the past 9 months on the spiritual side, on the mindset, success truly is. It's 90% spiritual, but it is that 10% physical side. So the physical side, this is going to be the leadership. This is going to be the personal development. This is going to be taking time to really develop yourself, right? John C. Maxwell, Developing the Leader Within 2.0, one of the greatest books that any of us can start on when it comes down to leadership, because it is going to show you the power of leading yourself, and you can then go ahead and lead countless other individuals just by what you've already been doing already. Your morning routine, right? Really taking time for yourself. This is where it all begins, right? So number 1, as far as this one, what do I need to read? So that's watch number 2. What do I need to do today to go ahead and move the needle 1%, 1/10 of 1% further, right? This is where our Sunday evaluation comes in pretty clutch. Number 3, what questions do I need to ask? What questions do I need to ask? This is so important because at the end of the day, I started to look at all of my mentors and wonder, why are they at where they're at? Where the difference was, they were asking the right questions. They knew where they're at in their life, and they started to ask themselves, what weaknesses do I have? What points are in my blind spot that I need to go ahead and double down and work on? And last but not least, what people do I need to meet when it comes down to your 5 wants and desires? What people do I need to meet? If you notice, we just took a flight over to AZ, right, to get around exclusive mentorship, to get around the energy, so we can go ahead and bring it back to the family. This is why events are so important, because now we have the chance to go ahead and meet educators live. We have the chance to meet chairman live and ask specific questions. It could be about the business, could be about trading, it could be about mindset, and you never know, that one question could give you that break free, could give you that aha moment that literally changes everything. And I watched it over the course of this entire weekend. I saw so many individuals just pop that one question. That was the answer that they needed to go ahead and really take off. So this is big when it comes down to your 5. All right, number 7. This is going to be behind every success every day. Behind every success every day comes down to what we do in private, right? What we do in private. So yes, we're inside of the Zooms. Yes, we're inside of the chats. But what are you really doing when nobody's watching? Okay, this is one of the biggest differentiators even I saw from a lot of the leaders, is they started to take their time very seriously. You see, in this business, it's not like we have a boss where someone's going to call us up, hey, go do the work. Hey, go show up. Hey, go ahead and do this. No. It's on us. Everything that we're doing is dependent upon the work that we want to do, whatever that we want to put in. That's what we're going to be able to go ahead and get out. So I started to really identify myself and ask myself, am I just journaling to journal? Am I just reading to read? Am I just showing up on Go Live just to show up? Or am I really being intentional? Am I really looking for that nugget? Am I really getting on to not just take that trade, but to actually see why it is that they took it? So I can go out and learn the next time that I was looking at a chart. So everything, I became really intentional with what I was doing inside of the dark. You know, over the week, over this past 6 days, we were at 3 different mansions, 3 multi-million-dollar mansions, beautiful spots. That's great. But the point is, everybody in there was focused. If 99% of people were inside of a setting like that, they'd be partying, they'd be drinking, there'd be a whole lot of madness going on. Every day was intentional. Every day was time blocked. Every day was moving with specific details of what we wanted to get done and what we wanted to accomplish for the day. So I started to realize how important it is to do what most people are not willing to do, so we can have tomorrow what most individuals can. And it came down to doing in the dark what most people are not willing to do. That meditation, the time to read by yourself, that time to really figure out what are the skill sets I wanted to learn for this month, right? Some of you are diving into ECX. Some of you are really diving into mastering impulse. That's great. That's going to be your product to really dive in and work on. Now let's really go ahead and be intentional with that knowledge. Okay, so even for myself, taking away 1 to 2 hours, no distractions, no matter what, to go ahead and dive in on ECX so I can start to master this skill set, so I can not only build a store, but I want to be able to duplicate it so everybody can go ahead and win on the trading, travel, ECX. So there's an intention on what we're doing in the dark when nobody's watching, right? And the results are going to show. Where are we at? Number 8. If you burn bridges, you better be a good swimmer. If you burn bridges, you better be a good swimmer, right? I've gone through so many different things in entrepreneurship, right? At the end of the day, you're going to experience a lot. But if there's one thing I could tell you, is that at the end of the day, no matter what happens in your life, this isn't even just business. This is life in general. Don't need to burn bridges, right? If there was somebody that was watching me on social media and they didn't like what I was doing, they were constantly negative. Here's the thing. I didn't even block them. I just unfollowed them. Because the truth be told, you're going to have haters. You're going to have negativity inside of your journey. In fact, that means you're doing something right. That means you're actually taking a step further than most people are willing to do. So I started to realize that's a good thing. Let me pour some more gas onto the fire. Okay. So if there's anybody that's negative towards what it is that you're doing, you don't need to go ahead and block them out of your life. You can cut them out of your life, but you don't need to block them. But what I would encourage you to do is stop worrying about proving others right and start focusing on proving others wrong. Start focusing on proving yourself right. I had so much negativity at the beginning. I had so many individuals that didn't believe in everything that I was doing in trading, entrepreneurship, making money from home, building a business right from anywhere that had Wi-Fi. Nobody thought that was a thing getting out of college or when everybody was getting out getting jobs, but be willing to follow the mass and do the opposite. And I'm telling you, it is worth it, right? When you don't burn bridges and you realize that any relationship, you never know where that could go. I've had people that have talked negative at the beginning, and guess what? Years later, they ended up joining the business and they absolutely took off. So you never know what somebody could do. So never burn bridges with individuals in your life. Next, frustration and regret. This triple threat right here. Frustration, rejection, and regret almost always comes from wanting more and doing less. This one's going to hit you like a brick because this one is so true. Frustration, rejection, and regret almost always come from wanting more and doing less. Drop some threes if you can relate, right? Drop some threes if you can relate, because truth be told, we've all been there, right? How many of us have wanted so much to happen in life, but when we actually took the time to look at our daily actions, our daily thoughts, we weren't really putting in the work. So we didn't deserve everything that we were really hoping for. This is where it happens, okay? So let's just say a lot of realizations were made during this training, right? When we got this from Sean. So big thing to think about. Number 10, success requires you to stop wanting, stop wishing, and really identify, am I locked in? Oh, I don't have it in here. It's in my book back from traveling, but I have my calendar, right? I have my calendar that's laid out for the week, that's laid out for the month. So we have everything that's organized. We know what events we're doing for the days. We know what go live schedules we're already tapping into. We know what times that we're actually going to go ahead and do our morning routine, brand ourselves, calls, throughways. Everything is organized for what is to come in the next couple months. So here's what I could tell you. If you fail to plan, we are planning to fail. So to give you guys a layout of what's coming up, we've got 4 conventions coming in 2023, right? In October, we've got the big event going down in Zurich. In December, we've got Pips on a strip over there in Vegas. In January, we've got Cancun. In March, we're headed to Orlando for March Madness, right? All of these things is already lined up coming into 2023. The only thing that's left is to truly run the play. This is why vision is so important, because we know where we're going. We know where the growth is coming, and we know the impact that is about to be made over the course of 2023. And we're starting right here, right now. So excited is an understatement. All right, next, where are we at? Number 10. Take what it is that you learn and be able to go ahead and put it out, okay? Become a person of value. The easiest way to become a person of value is exactly what I just told you. You see, a lot of you, I've seen it. You have a lot of gems sitting right here in your notebook, but the problem is they're sitting dormant if there's no action behind it, or if you haven't taken any of what you've learned that's resonated with you and put it out to the universe, right? Because there's how many gems in here, how many quotes in here, how many things that you've actually taken in do you think would resonate with a lot of people if they heard it? A lot, right? How about from these books that we read? How about from all of the mentors, all of the educators that we listen to about trading, about e-commerce? How many of these nuggets do so many individuals have no idea about, but we have the value? So real easy. Be a person of value is simply being able to take what it is that you learn, the value that you've actually got poured in your cup, and go pour some of that out today. You can do that through a story. You can do that through a video. You can go ahead and make a short. You can go ahead and make a reel. I'm going to go ahead and be putting one out today, but this is how easy it is to actually realize that serving the masses is very simple. It's becoming a person of value, and it starts with filling up your cup first, so you can go ahead and pour it out into others, okay? This is big. Next, where are we at? Number 12, okay? Before you speak, this is big. I had to ask myself this question. Before you speak, I want you to ask yourself, are you improving the silence? Before you speak, are you improving the silence? You see, if you really pay attention to most of the conversations we're around outside of the business, just with the average individual, it's negativity, it's drama, it's frustration, it's anger. So I had to really identify what are the words that I'm speaking, and am I bringing light to the conversation? Am I bringing light to the individuals that I'm around? Or am I just bringing up another negative thing that happened in the past, another negative situation that happened over the course of today? Because you know what happens? Misery loves company, right? The reason why people talk about misery so long is so you can go ahead and join them in that feeling of pain. People want others to feel their pain. That's right. That's why they talk about it. That's why others talk about all this sad story, this happened, so they can bring them inside of their world. You know what's wild? I'm not even gonna lie to you. One of the hardest days for my life was when my sister passed, and I started to look at it in a whole different life. Instead of being negative about it, I started to look at it light. This is the day that my sister's actually really with me. This is the day that I really feel the aura. This is the day where I can truly feel her energy. You know what happened? I started to bring more positivity. I started to bring and attract more light into my life. So whatever's happening in your life, I promise you right now, if you're speaking out the negativity, if you're putting it out there, we're going to attract more of it inside of our circle, inside of our energy. So I had to really be intentional about what it is that I was putting out there, right? So before you speak, ask yourself, does it improve the silence? Are you bringing light to the situation? Okay. And look to share it daily. So even on your stories, right? I'll give you a perfect example. On your stories, this is really what I'm getting at. On your social media, I'm not going to say I should never, but I highly encourage you to really ask yourself, how many times am I putting out anything that's negative? Because whatever you put out, you're going to attract. So if you pay attention to not just mine, but almost all of the Chairman's and Educators pages, you won't see any lick of negativity, not one, because we understand the power of energy, right? So everything is positive, everything is light, everything is growth. And if on your social media, you're seeing a lot of negativity, you're seeing a lot of noise, well, that's how your algorithm is shaped. That means that's who you're connecting to. That's what you're scrolling and clicking on all the time. So guess what? My algorithm is nothing but growth, visions, audios, mentors, because I've been able to shape my algorithm to do so. So the same thing goes with you. I want you guys to check out your algorithm. What is your algorithm like right now? An algorithm could be more than just social media. It's your direct thoughts as well, because whatever we're speaking is a direct correlation to what it is we're thinking. But when we speak, it means we're thinking it on a 10 times higher level. Okay. So number 13, find footprints of success, follow them, and see how you can actually go ahead and fit into them, right? One of the best things that I did over the course of the years, and one of the easiest things that I believe anybody can do today, is find individuals that are winning inside of this space, do what they do, and we're going to be able to get what they get, right? Whether it was Alex Morton, whether it was John Guam and Austin Godsey, I took pieces from each of them, tweaked it, and I made it my own. Right? The same thing goes with trading. I took pieces from Chris Derrick. I took pieces from Zach Hogan. I took pieces from Jordan Morgan, and I brought it in to actually what it is that I knew as far as my trading journey. So everything we're doing, believe it or not, if there's anybody that you look up to speaking, they didn't make up that content. They took it, they rebranded, and they made it their own. So for you guys, what are the footsteps of success that we're following, that we're able to go ahead and mold ourselves into them? Well, we have it. We have the best academy, the best platform that anybody can come in and learn, whether we're talking about Forex, whether we're talking about crypto, ECX, travel, all of these different ways to go ahead and multiply our income. The system's already been built. The wheel has already been built. Now it's a matter of just running in and running the play. We don't have to go ahead and recreate anything. It's already been proven, this track of success. So all we have to do is really go ahead and apply what's already been made. Okay. Next, 14. All right. Success comes down to the chances that we make, the actions that we take, and the circles we are in. This is a big one. Let me say it again. Success comes down to the chances that we make, the actions that we take, and the circles that we are in. Let's go ahead and break down those three, because I'm going to tell you right now, those are big ones that really shifted my whole journey along the course of this way. You ready? So the first one, success is the chances that we make. The chances that we make, right? Even over the course of this weekend, some individuals didn't know how they were going to get out to AZ, but this is what it's about, really getting out and taking the chances. Investing is risky. A lot of things in life are risky, but you know what the biggest risk that any of us could take is? Not taking the risk. I would much rather have the pain of the journey than have the pain of regret. Write that one down and star that one twice. I would much rather the pain of the journey then the pain of regret. You see a lot of things inside of this business, side of entrepreneurship, they're scary, right? You don't exactly know how it's going to get done, but we end up figuring it out along the way, right? This is what I had to learn, because over the course, I took so many leaps of faith, right? Driving cross country to events, going to different circles where I didn't even have the money to be in. But I understood I needed to get in that door. I needed to get around that information to go ahead and just take one thing to bring back home, to implement into my routine, to implement into my schedule. And it's made a world of difference, right? The second part, the actions that we take, okay? This is big. I want you guys to think about over the past 90 days, what are the actions that I've truly taken to get one step closer to my goals? Was it going to that event? Was it showing up day in and day out? Was it truly calling your mentor multiple times a week to ask questions and really be present? Was it taking the time to really be honest with yourself and do an evaluation at the end of the week for what I did well, what I didn't do well, and am I really ready to add something into the week that's going to really grow and benefit me, okay? And last but not least, the circles that we're in. I was thinking about it over in AZ over the course of the weekend, just sitting there and looking around and listening to the conversation, is just meditating and just in full gratitude and bliss, and just thinking about there's individuals that pray, that go their whole life without ever experiencing these type of conversations, this type of atmosphere, this type of energy, and this type of information. Seriously, how many of you guys know somebody who's making 250,000 cheeseburgers a month? How about 750,000 cheeseburgers a month? 3/4 of an M a month. Seriously. 100 a month. Now, I'm not here just to talk about money, but I understand that money is a direct correlation of the value of the impact that somebody brings to the marketplace. So I don't look at a leader just because they make a lot of money. I look at a leader because of the impact, because of the love that they go out and give out. And believe it or not, we're surrounded with the best of the best. If you don't believe me, go ahead and type in businessforhome.org. I've already showed you guys. It's on the tube already, right? Go type in top earners, and you can see Matt Rose and Jason Brown. They're in the top 10 in the industry, the $1 Million Hall of Fame. And we have the opportunity to learn directly from these individuals, right? We're in their organization. They truly want us all to win and succeed. So at the end of the day, I've never been more excited. I've never been more fired up to really know that we are with the right people, with the right information, sitting at the perfect time right here in September in 2022. Regardless of what any circumstances are at right now, I believe we're all exactly where we need to be for what is to come in the next coming months, 2023 and beyond. So that's big, huge one. I had a really big paradigm shift on the plane back home. I was really just thinking about that, like, wow, we are so blessed to have this type of access. 15, this is big. Y'all ready for this one? It is best, we're almost done. Got about 10 more for you. It is best to take advantage of a lifetime in the window. It is best to take advantage of a lifetime in the window of opportunity. Okay. Basically, what this is saying is inside of our lifetime, here's what I've been able to understand. We're going to get a handful of times where we have this little window of opportunity inside of our lifetime to be able to go ahead and take advantage. In fact, if you go ahead and look at the acronym POOR, I'll go ahead and write this out so you guys can remember this one. You ready? POOR. Drop it down below. Somebody tell me what that stands for. What does POOR stand for? Passing over opportunity repeatedly. Okay. The reason why most individuals are poor, they've had so many opportunities come and sit right in their lap. They're complaining, they're in lack, they're wondering, why is life happening to me? But little do they know, they've had so many opportunities go and skim right by them, but they just didn't take it. They didn't take the action, they didn't take the chance, and they didn't get inside that circle. And they wonder why they never actually saw the quantum leap, because guess what? It was just 3 things that they had to do. Take the chance, make the action, get in a different circle. Those 3 things can completely change the path of anybody's life if you really pay attention to it. How do I know? It happened to me. How do I know? I saw literally hundreds of thousands inside of this platform happen to them as well. So I know how serious this information is, because it's not just talk, but I'm telling you, this is coming from experience. All right. Next, 17. Go through life with big ears, with big eyes, and a small mouth. go through life with big ears, big eyes, and a small mouth, right? What does that mean? Big ears. There's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? We hear it all the time. We should listen twice as much as we speak. Because the second that a lot of individuals make any money in any industry, they start to think they know it all. And guess what? I've been there as well. I stopped showing up. I stopped being intentional. I stopped truly asking questions. And my growth, guess what? It started to retrace. So I started to get in the mindset, you know what? I'm always a student. I'm always growing. I'm always looking for a nugget that I can go and apply into my day, because this is where the real growth started to actually transmute. So my question for you guys today is to really go ahead and think about that. Your ears, are you listening, right? Your eyes, how big is your vision for yourself by the end of September? By the end of this next 90-day run, where do you really see yourself going? Without the vision, without writing down your congratulations letter, there's no way we're going to be able to get there. This is why, drop a congratulations if you guys actually took the time to go ahead and write your congratulations letter. Drop it down below. How many of you guys actually took the time to write your congratulations letter for the end of this next 90 days? Let me see it. Drop it down below. Who is serious about that? Who is serious? Because I'm going to go ahead and show you mine. Give me a second. You see, a boss is what? A boss is going to tell you what to do, but a leader is going to lead by example. So here we go. Let me go ahead and show you. If you don't have a clear vision for where it is that you're going, for the impact that you want to make, for the income that you want to go ahead and obtain, by the end of this 90 days, it's not going to be able to happen because you're not clear on what you want. So check this out. What does that say at the top? Go ahead, check it out. Congratulations letter. What's the date? We got it, right? Did it the same day as we talked about it, 9/21, yesterday. Congratulations letter. So this is so important because now every day, it's almost like if somebody were to write a book, if you can write the last chapter first, now you know what you need to do every day to go ahead and get to that exact point. So in a picture perfect world, right? If you could truly see yourself getting to your goals by the end of 9 days, right now as if it's already done. And getting that feeling as if you've already accomplished it. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be a surprise how it happens. Because guess what? A vision happens 3 times. First in the mind spiritually. Second happens physically the second that you put it on paper. And then third, now it manifests into reality. Nikki says she sat down next to Neno as she wrote down hers. How cool is that? What an experience. Amazing. So if you guys wrote your congratulations letter, drop your 3s down below so we can keep everybody accountable, because we're going to be able to go back and look at this video and see who actually took the time to do it. And if you didn't do it, that's okay. You got this weekend to go ahead and knock it out. But I encourage you to go ahead and take the time to do that. Not for me, not for anybody else on this call. This is for you. This is for your success. I or nobody else can want your success more than you want it for yourself. And when you truly realize that, you start to actually take the actions necessary that most are not willing. Okay. Next, here we go. I got a couple more for you guys. We're almost done. 18, right? What are you still capable of doing / going, right? Perfect question to go ahead and ask yourself. This is kind of like a QLQ. What are you still capable of doing? Where are you still capable of going? Jerome talks about it all the time. We can do more, so therefore we can what? Drop it down in the chat. We can do more, so therefore we can become more, right? We can do more, so therefore we can become more. So at the end of the day, when you really start to get focused on what you want, when you really start to develop your schedule, when you really write this congratulations letter as if it's already done, and we run the play over these next 90 days, I promise you're going to be able to realize something that is drastic. You're going to be able to realize something that is so remarkable. You ready? You're going to be able to realize that, guess what? You can have more and do less. You can have more and do less. How is that? Because you're going to start to realize this is the law of least effort. How is it that somebody can work 18 hours a day and somebody can work 8 hours a day and they have 10 times the results? How is that? How is it that somebody that can take all the notes, they read all day long, they're on every single Zoom, they're on all these calls, but somebody else has way more results than them? Because they've understood the power of, it's not about the quality. It's not about the number of time that we put into the day. It's about the quality that we actually put into the time. Most people have full-time jobs here, but why is it that some people have a full-time job and they're making a full-time income part-time? Why is that? Because they've understood you can really master your time when you're really organized and you're present on what it is that you're doing. If you're on Go Live, locked in. If you're trading, locked in. Your morning routine, locked in, no distractions, right? And all these little steps, it starts to compound over the course of time. Okay, so this is big. Next, what do I got? I got about 5 more for you. Here we go. This is big. You ready? He or she who angers you owns you. Say it again. He or she who angers you owns you. So I want you to think about it right now. Who in your life has been getting you frustrated? Who's been getting you angry? Who's been getting you agitated? Who in your life? Because I can tell you, the second that you let somebody else's emotions, somebody else's words, somebody else's feelings dictate your inner peace, forget about it. Forget about it. You've let go of the fact that if you really want to have peace, it takes being connected to everything, but attached to nothing, right? So if you're an individual who you have that one person in your life that can get you so angry in a matter of a second, I don't want to talk about it. Well, this is big. This is something that we need to talk about. Because a lot of us, we have weights inside of our life. And until we take the time to go ahead and let off of this weight, all the work can be done, but you're still going to wake up frustrated. You're still going to wake up agitated, right? So I had to really ask myself, like, yo, who is this person in my life? Who is it? Take the time to figure out that for yourself, okay? I'll give you guys an idea, right? Some of my family members are extreme alcoholics. Some of my family members are asking me for money all day long. Some of my family members are literally just negative every time I get a phone call. But you know what I have the opportunity to do? You have the opportunity to do when you experience this. You can choose joy or you can choose misery, right? Here's the truth, okay? A lot of you're taking the time to do a serious amount of unpersonal development. You've taken a lot of time to go ahead and do some deep work. So you know what the truth is? When you go out to work, when you come back home to whoever's inside of your house and you go out into the world, most people haven't done this type of deep work. So they don't understand the emotional intelligence yet. They don't understand the power of thinking for themselves. So you don't need to get agitated when they're coming from that state of mind, from that low vibration, because they don't know any better. They don't know any better. So stop letting it bug you so much. If they knew better, they would do better, right? That's just the fact about it for most people. So I stopped letting them dictate how I feel, because guess what? I know it's coming. I know other individuals out there have lower vibrations. I know my family might have lower vibrations, but guess what? I'm ready for it. I'm prepared. If you fail to plan, you what? Put it down for me. If you fail to plan, you what? You plan to fail. So guess what? I'm always ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Okay? It's huge. This is so important. This is emotional intelligence right here. Emotional Intelligence 2.0, straight out the book. Big. All right, 21. What are your actions towards imperfection? Threw you off a little bit with this one, right? What are your actions towards imperfection? I didn't say what are your actions toward perfection. I said what are your actions towards imperfection? This was a big one for me because for a lot of my life, I've wanted to be perfect. Anything I did, I wanted to be perfect at it. Especially when it came to entrepreneurship. That video didn't have the right background. That didn't have the sound I wanted. I didn't have the appearance that I was ready to have, right? Well, if you wait until that perfect time, you're going to be waiting all day long. Procrastination, write this down. Procrastination leads to what? I might end up doing a quiz too. I love that idea this morning. So great. Make sure everybody tapped in. Procrastination leads to permanent. If we keep putting off the video, if we keep putting off the podcast, keep putting off the value that we have to give, guess what? It's going to lead to permanent. And weeks are going to go by, months are going to go by, and the impact that you could have left, the ripple that you could have made, you'll never know what it was, because I'm telling you, the little thoughts of negativity, of I can't do it, the little thoughts of lack, and what are they going to say, and what are they going to think? Don't worry about what anybody else thinks about your success anymore, okay? At the end of the day, you own you, nobody else, right? Next, where we at? 2022. How hard, here's another check. How hard are you working to avoid success? Oh, this was a good one. How hard are you working to avoid success? You know what I've seen? Believe it or not, to be afraid of success is a real thing. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but that's actually a real thing. And I've been there. You know why? Because I thought about it. What happens if I got a real serious influx in my business? Am I going to be able to handle that jump? Am I going to be able to handle that responsibility? Am I going to be able to handle all those emotions, all that energy, and all those problems coming in? Well, the truth is, many of us, we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. If I were to give you a Chairman 100 back office like this, you think you can manage 500 individuals? You think you could handle 500 energies, 500 problems? The answer is probably not. So when I started to realize this, we're at the exact point that we need to be right here, right now, for the amount of PD that we've learned, the amount of action that we've taken, and from the experience that we've taken in so far. Okay? So I didn't need to get frustrated about my success while I saw other people blowing by me, because guess what? Their timing, just like yours, is different than everybody else's, right? Everybody else has success on their own time, but understand, as long as your head is down, you're learning the skill sets, you're taking in the responsibilities, right? The ability to respond, your growth, your success is inevitable, right? It's already done. Time just has to catch up. And these last couple I got for you to go ahead and end off today for the last 25 checks to your success is right here, okay? Check this out. The problem is in the mirror. The problem is in the mirror. But guess where the solution is as well? It's not out there. It's not outside. It's not even with your mentor. It's right here. The problem is in the mirror, and the solution is in the same exact spot. Right in your eyes. We are the problem, and we are also the solution. Success, this was Sean says it all the time. Success is literally just as close as our skin, right? Success is as close as our skin. And I saw it this weekend. Why is it that some individuals can be in the business at Platinum 150 for 6 months? In a matter of a 2-day stretch, you go out and hit P600. How does that happen? Do you think they got a new hairstyle? Do you think they got a new cut? You think they just got some new drip out of nowhere? No. None of those things happen. Guess what? It started inside of the mind. It started inside of the heart, the feeling, the passion, the belief, the confidence in what they could actually do. They saw people that just got started, boom, hit P150. People that weren't used to getting on the phones started making the phone calls. People that were afraid to make videos went out and they made 6 reels in one day. Massive action, belief, laser focus. It's what it takes. It's what it's going to take. I'm telling you right now, there's no secret to success. Anybody that you see winning, the blueprint's right there. They're consistent. The passion's there. They're confident. They have belief in the company and the products and the mentorship and the value. Time just has to catch up, but their head is down. Okay? The last couple I got for you. Ready? 2 more. 2 more for everybody. Okay? How strong have you been in the battles that shouldn't require anything from you? How strong have you been in the battles that shouldn't require anything from you? Think about that, okay? How many of us, we have individuals who are in our life and we're getting sucked into their energy. We're getting sucked in like literally an energy vampire, and they're draining us with the thoughts, with the conversations, with the talk that they're having on a continuous basis. And guess what? It's affecting our action. So guess what? I was fighting so many battles for other people that I didn't need to be fighting. Because you know what I realized? There's some things in life we have to go through by ourselves. And I'm an empath, so I love to help people. But you know what I started to see? You can't do everything for everybody. There's lessons that everybody needs to learn. Some people, they need to get burnt by the fire to go ahead and learn by them. I was that kid. Somebody told me, yo, don't get too close to the fire. It's going to burn you. Well, I was that kid. I had to go, get burnt for things. Okay, I'm not going to touch that again. I learned my lesson. Well, some individuals are like that. How many do you know where you've told somebody, you know, you've heard the term, we can take somebody to the water, but we can't make them drink it? That's so true. That's everything inside of this business. You can't want it more for somebody else than they want it for themselves. So at the end of the day, when there's individuals in your life and you're fighting battles that you don't need to be fighting, if you took that time and you put it into actually people that did want it, if you put that back into yourself, guess what? The energy exchange is freakish, right? Last but not least is going to be right here. What is the quality of your problems? Ask yourself this question every day. When you're going through anything that happens in your life, I want you to ask this question. What is the quality of my problems? Is it one or two things? Is it first world? Is it a first world problem? Or is it third world? You see, when you travel, I haven't had a chance to get outside the US too much other than DR, but DR is a third world country, and I did get a chance to go ahead and experience it over there. You see, in DR, some individuals, they don't make more than $300 a month, right? You go around half of the street corners, there's individuals sleeping all day long. In fact, when I went over there to go play the Little League World Series, when we finished the game, there was kids out there that were watching the game, literally standing on the outside of the fence that didn't have shoes, that didn't have anything to eat. And I'll never forget it. I literally took the cleats off my feet to go ahead and give it to them just so they had shoes. And when I came back home at 12 years old, even though I was 12, I still remember it to this day. It changed my perspective on the problems that we all have. How many of us are complaining about problems that if you jumped in a third world country, you would look like a god? They would be begging to have the problems that you have right now. So when I started to get upset in my life, when I started to really, really think about what am I going through, and if somebody else was in my shoes, how would they treat it? Most people, they would look at it like a blessing. So understand that the rank that you're at, the amount of money that you might have lost trading, the amount of hardship that you had to go through, are they first-class problems, first world problems, or are they third world problems? And this perspective is going to give you a huge shift into where it is that you're going and how much that we still have to grow, and that everything is nothing good, nothing is bad. It is what it is. It is simply the perspective, the lens that we give it. When my flight got canceled, when we missed our flight, I could have been so angry. I could have been so agitated, but I decided it is neither good. It is neither bad. It is how I decide to go ahead and take that in. So family, this is my training for you guys today. If you got any value, go ahead and smash that like button, drop down below, drop some fives. This is the 25 checks to your success. So family, if nobody told you today, I believe in you. You are powerful. You are a leader, and you are stepping into the highest version of yourself. So go out and make it happen. The world is waiting to hear your voice. Let's go ahead and get some tunes going for the day. TGIF family, I love you guys. Remember, it is your favorite entrepreneur. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything you can hold in your mind. You can hold it where? Right in your hand. I love you, family. Friday, let's go out and take massive action. Savage September, let's go out and make it happen. It's game time, family. Let's grow.